Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen. There is a ton of work going on for Star Citizen's resource management, life support, and engineering features, and Cloud Imperium Games have revealed a ton of new information about the plans for these systems beyond the demo they showed at CitizenCon 2023. In an Ask the Devs Resource Management special video, they answered a load of questions, and we're going to highlight some of this, give it a bit more context, but there's also some other major feature updates beyond that too, which actually we'll start off with. There is a big dev team and feature restructure planned for January 2024 for sort of Star Citizen's persistent universe, all the roadmap stuff for that. Cloud Imperium Games typically work out plans for roadmap schedules and what they're going to be working on feature-wise at the start of a new year. But with Squadron 42 being feature complete and loads of teams and resources being available for the persistent universe, it's going to be even more important than normal. There's going to be a lot going on here. There are going to be lots more devs working on the persistent universe, and Squadron 42 features being brought over and implemented into the persistent universe as well. Structural salvage is currently being worked on and hopefully will release in the Alpha 3.22 end of year patch. They've been working towards the go no go for the feature, and we should know in this week's roadmap update if it's going to be in 3.22 or if it's going to be a part of the cycle. They are also targeting the first implementation of engineering and resource management gameplay for Q2 2024, more specifically life support, fire, and engineering gameplay that we saw at CitizenCon in a more refined state. The base resource network, repair beams, expanded item functionality. This may take the form of actual features in the persistent universe, but it could also potentially be a experimental mode in Arena Commander. We're going to have to wait and see. Let's go into the engineering and resource management questions and answers that the devs answered here. Will soft death ships be repairable? Soft deaths are a temporary solution in the game at the moment. This has ships being in a state of destroyed and no longer repairable or flyable, but the player crew will have survived. You can salvage the ship, you can board it, loot it, or you can continue to shoot it and completely destroy it. In the future, this will be dealt with via physical components and the resource management system. You can take out and destroy individual components and also repair and replace them. Maelstrom deals with the potential of large sections of the ship and hull coming apart. Some ships will be suitably damaged to get field repairs. They can still be functional if they get field repairs. Some may need to be towed to a station by something like an SRV. There'll be dedicated drop-off points for partly destroyed ships and then be repaired. Some might just be scraps though. They've been shot too much. They are pretty much entirely destroyed. There's just bits of ship everywhere. Eventually, soft deaths will fade away entirely for these new mechanics. Components wise as well, size 1 and 2 components, the smaller components, well, size 0, 1 and 2 I suppose, they're all replaceable by hand or by tractor beam. Larger items, sort of size 3 and size 4, they're typically found on larger and capital ships. They can't be replaced without specialist facilities, though some of these may be able to be repaired on site if they're not entirely destroyed. Ships aren't planned to explode so much either. You will more likely be dead in the water when components get shot at and damaged and destroyed. However, if something like a power plant or a quantum drive has a catastrophic explosion, then the whole ship may explode. This would be like if you took a critical hit in that system and that was already having issues, no one was doing anything about it, it might go critical, you might go boom. With engineering gameplay in mind, how hard will it be for a solo player to fly a multi-crew ship? They will be able to do it. It will be harder though, especially if it's an older ship or the sort of components have a lot of wear and tear on them. There's more likely going to be issues that require repair or attention, and because there's only one of you and a ship might be quite big, that can be quite time-consuming. Brand new or fully serviced ships with good energy management are unlikely going to have an issue as long as they're not in combat. Larger ships want a crew, especially if they're being actively used. You can operate them solo, but you're going to lose out on functionality and efficient repair. You may as well fly a smaller ship. There are hireable NPC crew and AI blades that they're going to be putting into the game that will allow you to run these ships more easily, even without other actual players. Also, you'll be able to power down systems, you'll be able to run systems on lower power to sort of preserve their health. Are mini-games planned for repair mechanics beyond magic repair beams and that sort of stuff? The initial release will be simple at first. They will, however, evolve the mechanics and may add more bits in the future. So there's a lot of items and areas of the ship that can get damaged. Relays, hulls, components. Relays require fuses to be replaced. Life support use scrubbers that need to be replaced. Sub-component replacement will be a thing for other systems in the future as well. Fire will be a hazard. It will need to be dealt with using extinguishers or venting. They want meaningful gameplay. There is already a reasonable amount of complexity in these systems though, and they might not need any additional minigames or to evolve it much more than that. They are going to have a more fun gamified system though. They don't want it to be sort of incredibly sim. They also mentioned that you might see some missions where you go to a point of interest and you might have to do sub-component replacements or repairs like that. Are relays generic, or are there going to be different relays for power, fuel, coolant, data? So relays all deal with all of that. They're generic, basically. They have relays set up, though, that can prevent certain resources moving between areas. I'm not sure if you'll actually be able to set that yourself, but in most situations, you're going to have all the resources going through the same relays, and if a relay gets taken out, then it will disrupt the network for all of those things. Will different manufacturers like Drake have more faults on their ship? Are they more likely to have problems with relays and stuff like that? Every ship will have their own layout. Military ships will have more relays than civilian ships for more redundancy. Manufacturers will have different styles of layouts. The faults and issues are going to come from your components of choice, though. You might have cheap or poorly maintained components, and if you have that, then you're going to have more faults. If you have high-end military components that are maintained a lot, then you're going to have much less in the way of issues. Wear and tear will make faults happen more often. They don't want consistent component failure all the time, though. If you underpower your ship, then you're going to have less wear and tear, and you're sort of less likely to have malfunctions. There is an element of RNG here as well. So something that really wasn't discussed here was, are relays that own individual components, and are they different between ships? Is a relay just a relay, or are there different qualities of relay? Can I replace relays? Do Drake ships have Drake relays which are more prone to problems? I'm sort of interested to know, are relays that own separate component, or are they just you have these relays in your ship and you can't change them? Interested to know what you think about that in the comments below. Can an engineer injure themselves or cause more problems with a bad repair? So a power surge or a misfire could cause the component to be damaged, also could cause a fire. They don't want to instantly kill you for accidentally punching a component or anything like that, though. You could potentially make a situation worse, though, with bad decisions. And sabotage will be a thing, taking out components, removing subcomponents, shooting them, starting fires. With life support, will opening doors automatically cycle atmosphere to save oxygen? They said an airlock will operate like an airlock. If you just open the doors to space, then you'll be venting all of that. It's sort of like a tactile experience. Where does air and atmosphere come from on a ship? So at the moment, this is apparently an open discussion and they're working some of these systems out. Currently, there's a tank that stores atmosphere. So if you take atmosphere out of a room with the internal venting system rather than just exposing it to space, it's going to go into the tanks there, and then you can put the atmosphere back in. If you open a door into space, that's going to take away the atmosphere. Atmosphere is effectively a finite resource. You can go to like a breathable planet and refill your atmosphere tanks and sort of open your ship up and restore all the atmosphere everywhere if you wanted. It's unclear if life support can generate atmosphere or if it's just for handling and cleaning CO2 and getting oxygen on your ship, that's what it sounds like. It sounds like it's just does your scrubbing of CO2, does your oxygen, but doesn't necessarily generate atmosphere. Do I need to learn the layout of enemy ships and where their components are for sort of targeting or whatever? There is going to be component targeting, which you'll be able to sort of go beep, beep, beep. I can target this component or subcomponent, cycle through their systems and subsystems. However, if you know where the components are, you're going to have an advantage because you know where to go and to move. If you lose targeting for any reason, you still know where that area is that you're wanting to shoot, and you'll also potentially be able to work out where you can shoot exactly to deal the most damage. The hull and shields may be vulnerable in certain areas too. More knowledge is better, right? How will pilots know if their components need repair in fighters or single-seater ships. So this is going to be displayed on MFDs, the multifunction displays. There'll be detailed system information and damage information about your ship. But if a system goes offline during a fight and you have no redundancy, that's going to be pretty bad, but typically you'll get out the ship, fly out. You can remove component by hand. You can potentially replace it if you have another system on your ship, spare or redundant in its cargo bay or whatever. Can you always vent a room, or are these systems also powered and require relays? So life support systems and vents can go offline if their connected relay or power is taken out. So you need to replace or repair those first before getting life support operational, before accessing a vent in a particular room. Boom! That's it for your engineering gameplay update today. I'm really excited if they're trying to get that in for Q2 of 2024. Very cool stuff. I do have the Star Citizen panel going over all of that from CitizenCon as well. They showed examples. There was a bit of a demo going on, flying around, sort of repairing the systems while under attack. That demo was apparently done live. So yeah, they didn't plan on the ship getting defeated and destroyed there. They wanted to repair it and then be able to fight off their attackers, but it was done live and they went, we'll go with it. I'm really interested to know, are you excited by engineering gameplay and the resource management systems here? And do you think they'll get it in for Q2 2024? Is there something that you were hoping that there was a bit more to this system? What do you hope it evolves into? Do you think this is going to leave larger ships and multi-crew ships in a state where they really, really require crew, and even the sort of smaller multi-crew ships, they need crew, otherwise you might as well fly a smaller ship because they're too much of a liability otherwise? Are you looking forward to that engineering gameplay, running around, putting out fires and that sort of stuff? Or are you terrified of it? Whatever your thoughts or questions are, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. What is best in life? To crush your enemies? To see them driven before you? And to hear the lamentations of their women? No, of course not. It's NordVPN. I never saw Conan the Barbarian checking his bank balance and then watching some cool shows on Netflix, all while protecting his privacy and being super secure. To be honest, I can't even remember Conan wearing a shirt. Silly Conan. And now, a big old snake god's got your internet history. Good job. Don't be a Conan the Barbarian. Check out NordVPN. Links below for powerful discounts too. Do you like using your eye holes for extra immersion in Star Citizen and help aim and do some cool stuff? Well, you can with Tobii Eye Tracker 5, which is on sale at the moment. This gives you native high-precision head and eye tracking in Star Citizen. Very cool for general immersion, for combat both in ship or on foot. They are absolutely fantastic pieces of kit, and both Zin and I have one. Use the links below to grab one or to find out more. Every month we've been giving away a ship for Star Citizen, but for November, to celebrate the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo 2953, we are giving away a load of different ships, each to a different person. The Avenger Titan, the Drake Cutter, the C-8X Pisces, the Mustang Alpha, and the Nomad. All great starter ships, but also useful for any fleet. They all come with a game package and lifetime insurance. That's all you need to start playing Star Citizen. That's 5 prizes and 5 chances to win. Just comment on any of my videos made during November to be in for a chance of winning. I want to say a massive thank you to everyone that goes the extra mile in supporting the channel via Patreon or the join button under my videos and then becoming a channel member. Please consider joining those fabulous people as well. It allows us to make daily content for Star Citizen and Squadron 42, delving into all the news, drama, development info, and gameplay that these games have to offer. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the verse.